What's up, worldies? Welcome back to Too Fat for Footy. It's good to see you. And my oh my, do we have something to talk about today. Now, this is a weekend in review, but we're gonna rewind it back a little further. The thing that I just found out, the story that I just happened upon, the story that honestly should be the biggest story for every football fan out there, is wild. Now, I think that we all know that it's a really awkward scenario when you get caught in relations by other individuals, unless that's your thing, and that's okay. We don't shame here. However, for the average person who doesn't really appreciate someone butting in their most intimate and private moments, to know that others have watched them, to know that others have caught them in their most private of moments is mortifying, to say the least. And that's just for your average person. Imagine that you are a highly paid soccer player at a club that is a high-profile club in your country, and you somehow manage to get caught in an orgy in your own stadium. Yes, folks, that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's the Week in Review. We've got a couple other scores and highlights that I want to go through to cover the rest of what happened, because we had some really great action over the weekend. Glory, glory, Man United. We also had some interesting developments that really shows the different side of soccer and just how awkward this sport can get. Now, if you all remember, back when everything was shut down during the pandemic, obviously soccer players weren't allowed to do things. They weren't allowed to go out. They weren't allowed to congregate with other people. They had to stay home and be at peace with staying indoors. Obviously, that makes sense because, you know, quarantine, don't spread the disease, blah, 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 blah. But there were several instances over the course of 2020 where players decided that, well, they didn't give a shit. They were gonna go out, they were gonna do their own thing, and honestly, we know a person or two like that, don't we? So over the course of 2020, the English national team had a reckless abandonment of the rules over several different months. So all of these different incidents all led up to the English national team being the front page news on The Sun for ages, because they just couldn't keep it in the house and in their pants. However, I have come to find out that in Norway, they do you one better when it comes to that very scenario. If you're not familiar with Norwegian soccer, don't be afraid. Neither are we. In fact, the only teams that really are noteworthy coming out of Norway are Molde and Rosenborg. That's about it, because those are the only teams that generally make the Champions League or the Europa League every single year. So if you don't know who SK Brann are, that's fine. That's dandy. I'm not gonna hold it against you. However, you really need to know real quick. According to reports from The Sun and several other outlets, up to 12 players allegedly last Monday had decided they were going to have a night out on the town. Now, generally that's not as big of a deal anymore. It doesn't really sound all that ominous. 12 guys, same team, after training. Yeah, let's go have dinner and drinks. Sure, great, fine, whatever. Well, then they decided, okay, well, while we're out, let's go to a nightclub. Let's have a little fun, even though it's just Monday. Oh, might I add, SK Brann is 16th in the league right now. Do you know how many teams are in the top flight in Norway? I'll give you a guess. Yeah, they're in last place in the league. So after training, you go out for dinner. Okay, fine, sure. Then you decide to go to a nightclub and get hammered. All right, now you've made a mistake. That's not a great idea. Then the best part, they invite somewhere between, I've seen reports of 4, I've seen reports of 7. I've seen reports of 4 to 7 women. They invited them back to the stadium, and then they proceeded to have a group sexual encounter in the stadium. What? You're kidding. What? Apparently the players insisted that all cell phones were collected and put in a bag so that no one could record the incidents that were going on. However, the stadiums do have cameras. They have them in some of the locker room entrances, they have them around the grounds, they have them actually filming the pitch, and apparently all of those different cameras all caught different things. Can you imagine being the security guard or the late night janitor? Yeah, bunch of drunk footballers who are all ready, ripped and roaring for after their night out on the town. Bringing back a couple of chicks who don't look like they play football and don't look like they belong. Yeah, they're gonna have to clean that grass. But apparently, things happened inside the locker room. They happened on the field, in a couple of offices, all over the place. And now, granted, when you're in last place, when your team sucks, you tend to stop giving a shit. Because sure, you're done at that point. You're over it. You're absolutely just beyond trying to compensate for anybody else's lack of ability or lack of talent. But come on, have some professionalism. At least, you know, give a fan or two a seat experience. Unfortunately, or fortunately, the 12 players were not named by the club. However, there is a list of suspensions that are going to be handed down, a list of punishments, and with the club being in last place in the league, there are sure to be a number of reprimands and a large sum of money that is not going to go into those players' pockets. I've said all that to say all this. If I ever got the chance to, you know, in a 17,000 seat stadium, and I thought no one was watching, I don't know, well, maybe. But I'm also aware that there are cameras. And sure, when you're drunk, when you're inebriated, when you are, you know, beyond the point of self-control, sure, you're gonna forget things like, oh yeah, my boss can see me. Do better, SK Brann. Do better. Real quick, let's go over 2 little and 4 big matches that you might have missed over the weekend. Our first little, Nice 4, Lille 0. The defending Ligue 1 champions, Lille OSC, who broke PSG's string of championships in the French league, lost big against Nice over the weekend. That gives Lille 1 point after 2 matches and puts them 18th in the league out of 20. Not a great start for the defending champions in France, and if that's anything to go by, they're not going to be reclaiming that title anytime soon. Second little, Dundee United 1, Rangers 0. The most recent Scottish champions also took a loss over the weekend to a team that honestly, they should have beaten by 5. Celtic and Rangers both are off to really bad starts in the Scottish League, but we're going to have to see how the rest of the month and even September plays out to see who's going to take the lead in that title race. Although if Rangers, who went undefeated in league play last season with Steven Gerrard at the helm, continue to play in this manner, they're also not going to see another title coming back to their own side of the Ibrox. Man United 5, Leeds 1. Hey, Paul Pogba is literally going to cause me to spontaneously combust watching Man United this season. With a 1-0 lead 3 minutes after halftime, Paul Pogba's lazy defense gave Leeds the perfect opportunity that they capitalized on to tie up the score at 1. Somehow, someway, in the span of 5 minutes after that moment, he produced 2 of the best assists you will ever see in the Premier League this season. I am going to cry. He is literally the Dallas Cowboys of soccer players. They make me want to throw things and scream and rage at the television, and then they give me the slightest glimmers of hope, inklings that things are gonna be okay, only to dash my hopes. This season is going to be really up and down for United. But if we continue to put up score lines every week like we did this weekend, I think we'll be okay. And my predictions, which you can see here, hey, I think they're going to be okay. Tottenham 1, Man City 0. Masterclass. Absolute masterclass by Nuno Espirito Santo. Absolutely phenomenal, outmanaging Pep Guardiola in front of the Tottenham fans without Harry Kane. They played the exact perfect, to a T, perfect style of play, skinny defense, beat them on the counter, Heung-min Son scores. And I cannot tell you just how fantastic it was seeing Heung-min Son score that goal. And this only pushes further my idea that Tottenham are going to be undefeated alongside Liverpool and Chelsea after the first 15 matches of the season. Borussia Mönchengladbach 1, Bayern Munich 1. Now, if you can spell Borussia Mönchengladbach, props. I've known about this team since Casey Keller used to be their goalkeeper way back in the early 2000s, and I still have trouble spelling it to this day. Bayern Munich, champions of Germany last year, big time push in the Champions League. They have the best goal scorer in Robert Lewandowski in the entire world on their team, and they only managed a 1-1 draw. Is it time to panic? Maybe, maybe not. They just knocked off Borussia Dortmund in the DFB Pokal, so I don't think all is lost. I just think that they need to do a better job moving forward, especially if Julian Nagelsmann wants to cement himself as a true leader of a truly phenomenal Bayern squad. Barcelona 4, Real Sociedad 2. Martin Braithwaite announced his coming out season with a brace for Barcelona, and if that is things to come. Hopefully Ronald Koeman and company will have this team together. Memphis Depay looked fantastic. Gerard Piqué can finally be the leader that Barcelona needs him to be. And honestly, they're going to be fine moving forward. They have to beat out Real Madrid with Karim Benzema, but Benzema is due to slump here and there when it comes to his form. So we'll see how that goes. For now, Barcelona looks alright. Thanks for stopping by, and I appreciate you guys coming to check out the video. If you had a comment, go ahead, throw it down in the comment section below. While you're at it, hit the little like button on this video, hit the subscribe button on the channel, and turn on those little notification bells so that when I upload, you know about it. Also, if you're a troll, drop some hate in the comments. Let me know how you feel so I can be better for you. I appreciate you guys checking out this video, and I'm hoping to have something coming up right before the weekend kicks off. Another great slate of games set up for you and your viewing pleasure. So turn on the tube, watch some footy, and as always, worldies, keep kicking. In the DFB Pokal, in the DFB Pokal. Another great game, Could I have made a better joke there? Probably.